No, it's not. It's not being a college professor's life blows. All right. Hey, my name's Dave. AA meeting. Hi, Dave. My name's Dave. I'm addicted to video games.
Yeah.
Let me get a picture of everybody real quick. Be like, woo! Oh, woo! College, yeah. Where all your parents are paying for this? Student loans, fuck yeah. So student loans, right? You've got them, or like you got rich parents, lucky for fucking you. Anyway, but you want to, make money doing video game stuff, right? That's why you're in this club. That's why you're here. That's why you're going to school. Video game stuff.
Yes.
Yes. When I was your age, we didn't have video game college. There wasn't that wasn't a thing. Like you couldn't there was no Full Sail, there was no DigiPen, there was no Cal State program for video games. It was just you went to it was business, liberal arts, or English or history or some bullshit. We didn't have you couldn't major in 3D modeling. So you guys got it pretty good. Anyway, I am video games and so can you. Who am I? It's a serious existential question. I am Dave Oshry. Did you not read the fucking flyer? I've helped release 10 plus games on Steam and other platforms. I was the head of biz dev at Gunnar Optics. They make the computer glasses. You probably know somebody that has them. And I used to write about games back when that was still a fun thing to do for outlets like Kotaku, PC Gamer, Joystick, etc., etc. Basically, I've worked the video game industry from all sides. So I know a lot about it. I've been doing it for a while. It's all really, really dark. Yeah. Okay. Things I'm known for, Rise of the Triad, my company, New Blood Interactive, Brotaku, when I was on Kotaku, that's what they called it. Gunners, the old Apogee classics like Commander Keen and shit. I brought all those back for Steam, so you can play them on Steam and stuff now. You're welcome. Who are you? I googled college kids. And this picture called diverse college students came up. Hilarious. You've got D from Always Sunny and Goku hair guy and just the broest white dude I've ever seen. The two token black kids and then Middle Eastern girl because diversity. Why are you here? I wish these pictures were better. Some of these pictures are really funny. I assume because you want to have a career in video games, or maybe someone said there's going to be free drinks. I don't even know if I can buy you guys drinks. That's probably illegal. Anyway, so where do you start, right? Question. I was trying to think what questions would I ask myself if I was sitting in your place? Hey, what do I do? I'm going to video game school. What do I do? Right here. Right now. So you've got all the tools you need. I mean, you've got every engine available to you. You've got teachers. You've got artists who are better than you. You've got programmers who are better than you. People you can talk to. People you can, right here. You have everything you need that 10 years ago, people trying to get into the video game industry didn't have. They had to figure it out on their own. So use all the free shit that you have on campus. Because once you're out of school, you don't get the free shit anymore. You have to pay for Office. It sucks. We didn't have video game school when I was your age. Get off my lawn. What should I focus on? I hear that a lot, right? What should I do? Where are the jobs at? I mean, the programmers get hired, the artists get hired. What are you good at? Are you good at multiple things? Do you even know what you're good at? Maybe you weren't meant to be the thing you're trying to do. If your sculpts in Maya and stuff really suck and you just keep trying to get better, maybe you shouldn't be a 3D artist. Maybe you should be an environmental artist, an asset artist. Can you model trash cans? Somebody has to model trash cans. Every game has trash cans. Somebody makes all the trash cans in Call of Duty. That guy probably makes a shit ton of money. So I mean, can you major in trash can modeling here? So find out what you're good at, and maybe you're not so good at sometimes you gotta get introspective and be maybe I'm not meant to be an animator. Maybe I'm just meant to rig animations and do 3D modeling and stuff like that. For instance, my buddy Aaron, who I started my company New Blood with, he had no idea he was a world builder until he started hanging out in Unreal 4 and just messing around with assets, and now he just makes stuff that looks like this. And it looks like shit on this thing, but there's some really pretty scenes. That's actually some stuff from the Game Jam game we just made this week for the UE4 Jam. We haven't slept in a week. I'm wired off Red Bull right now. And he didn't know until he found out. He's like, holy shit! Everybody's like, dude, you're really good with the lighting and shadows in UE4 and stuff. He's one of those guys. As long as you give him assets, you know, he can make a crazy scene, and it's a gift because like I can't. I just make like the dumbest shit in Unreal. Like it's as bad. It's like drawing a stick figure. It's like, look, I put the rocks over here. It's bad. Like environmental world builders. Like, and he didn't know. He didn't know he was good at that. You know, we had been billing him as just like a design guy, and sure, he can like type up a GDD and come up with great ideas and like gameplay flow and stuff like that. But he had no idea he was a world builder and an environmental designer till he did it. So try new things. You might find out that you're really good at something. And a lot of times you don't know how good you are at something until somebody goes, holy shit, that's like really, you made that? Like, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that either. So make trash cans. You might be really good at making trash cans. So let's say you figure out what you're really good at, right? I mean, if you're a really good programmer, you're a really good animator. By the way, like really good animators are really hard to come by. Like just do pistol reloads like non-stop. And if you get really good at that, you'll get hired at like Bungie like tomorrow. Everybody loves fucking pistol reloads. All right, so I know what I'm good at, and I'm pretty good at it. Now what? Finish school. Like, you're going to hear a lot of people, like, you'll see all these famous people who dropped out of college. That doesn't mean you should drop out of college. Like, when I'm looking at resumes, or when people are looking at resumes, sure, you may, like, get done with school and be like, wow, I didn't learn a fucking thing when I was at school. Everything I learned was, like, messing around with Unity and Unreal at home, you know, and reading tutorials and forums. But a person who has a degree will get hired over a person who doesn't have a degree. A person who finished a 4-year university, I will look at that resume and go, that person's not a quitter. That person can finish college. Like, it's, you know, it might be sucky. I mean, I'm sure it's actually fun because you guys go to Cal State Long Beach, and like it's in Long Beach, and you do video games. But like, for a lot of people, college is like super boring and not fun. But if you can, you know, stick through it, A, you get a lot of tools here. B, you're going to learn a lot. C, people like me who are going to look at your resume are going to know that you're, you know, you give a shit, you're worth a shit, and you're not a quitter, and you can do it. Build a portfolio. Like, immediately. Do stuff. Like, if you're an animator, get on that, you know, get a demo reel going of all your best animations. You're a 3D modeler, upload all your sculpts. I want to see your best ones. And they need to be in a place I can find them. The first thing a guy like me is going to do if I'm looking for, like, a 3D modeler, I'm like, all right, send me his portfolio. I'm not going to look at your resume. I don't care like about your references. I just want to see if I'm looking for somebody to make 3D assets, I want to see their 3D assets, you know? So build a portfolio or demo reel, have it easily accessible. Build a website, start a blog. It's really easy. You guys are, I'm sure it's like 2015. If you don't have a blog or a website for like your work, like you're like 20 years behind. Link to it often. You know, build that SEO so when people search your name, your blog comes up, your website comes up with your portfolio, and they go, okay, this guy's an animator. Those are his animations. That's what he looks like. That's his Twitter. That's his Facebook. Okay, you know, make it easy for people to find you. Makes it easier for them to hire you, and keep it current. Like, I will, I've seen some like 3D modelers and stuff, and like they link me their portfolio, and there's like nothing new on there since like 2014. I'm like, what the fuck have you been doing for the past year and a half? Like, not making anything? It's like I want to see current stuff. If you're good at your job, you keep doing it. Even if like your sculpts or whatever aren't your best, upload work. We want to see your process. We want to see your flow. We want to see that you're working, that you're actively trying to keep doing newer, better stuff. Improve yourself. What about my resume? I get asked this a lot. Like, resume? Does people still need those? Kinda. Like, LinkedIn is kind of like taken over for resumes, thankfully. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually had to like print out a resume, which is great. And you guys, like, by the time you're ready to start like submitting resumes, you might not ever have to like do it, but if you are, keep it to 1 page. Like, I've seen people with like 3-4 page resumes, like with stuff going back to like when they were in middle school, and they were like, they helped the teacher in the lunchroom. Like, nobody cares. Relevant experience only. Like, I wrote this, like, I don't give a shit that you spent a summer as a valet at a fancy hotel near the beach. Like, I don't care. I'm sure it was lovely, and you got a lot of relevant game development experience while you were parking cars. So LinkedIn, yes, absolutely. You don't have to use it as like a social platform, but just like keep it current. That's your resume. In the game world, LinkedIn's your resume. It's like this is my name, this is my picture, these are my last few jobs, this is where I went to school. That's it. People will just pull up your LinkedIn immediately. And once you're out there, once you're submitting applications on Gamasutra or whatever, different like your LinkedIn, people will be like 9 people viewed your profile, 15 people viewed your profile. People will be looking at it every day, and a lot of people view it incognito because they don't want to know. Like people who are hiring don't want you to know that they're looking at your portfolio, obviously, but keep it current, keep it relevant, Keep it succinct. Just, don't get all long-worded and windy like, oh, when we started this project that I worked on in high school, I barely knew how to program, and now I barely know how to program, but I'm a little bit better. And I really think the cube men that we had running into each other, spoke to me. I mean, nobody gives a shit. Just be like, this is the game, this is what it looks like, here's a video. GIFs. GIFs are great. Like, we don't even watch videos anymore. It's just like, if you can show me an animated GIF, it's like 10 seconds of a thing you made. I'm like, that's hilarious. That looks fun. I want to play that. Do you have a build of that? You made that? What did you make? What in this thing that I just saw did you make? You can make more stuff like this? Cool, you're hired. That's how it goes these days. Clout, remember Clout? Remember like 2012 when Wired wrote an article like, your Clout score is going to determine like how you get hired for the next 5 years, and then Clout went away. It's hilarious. And cover letters. Nobody knows how to write a good cover letter. Nobody knows what a good one looks like. I don't know how to write a good cover letter. I'm sorry, don't ask me. Will all this get you hired? Probably not. You are not a special snowflake. There are, you think you could be a really good programmer. Cool, there's like a million more of them. Like, this is one class at one university. Like, there's like 5,000 more in California alone. Congrats on your game degree. So it's not about where you've gone necessarily. Like, yeah, it's great that you went to school. We want to see that. But it's about what you've done and who you know. We'll get to that later. And what have you done for me lately? Like, you could have been a part of a really cool, you could have helped design a VR electric chair project like 2 years ago, right? But like, what have you done recently? That was cool in like 2013. Yeah, cool. What have you done recently? Oh, you haven't just, nothing? Okay, cool. Like, it's, then it's not you've done lots of stuff. But so what have you done for me lately? Anybody get the Eddie Murphy reference? Fuck, I'm old. Oh yeah, like if your portfolio for the last year is like empty, like what have you been doing? Like keep it current. Do work. Modding. Modders have gotten jobs. I don't know if you remember the dude who built this huge Skyrim mod, Falskar, like a whole other continent basically for the game with its own voice dialogue, like insane mod. Got hired by Bungie, now he works on Destiny. Because he showed the world like, hey, I could build an entire continent in Skyrim by myself. Somebody give me a job in game design. There's nothing stopping you. Like game companies like Fallout 4 is coming out. They're going to release the creation kit. If you do some crazy awesome stuff in Fallout 4, Bethesda, Kotaku might write about it. Bethesda might notice it. And then you might get an email from a recruiter at Bethesda saying, hey, we want you to work on Fallout 5. Crazier things have happened. Do you remember this guy who redesigned Microsoft's entire brand in 3 days? He got hired to work at Microsoft. And now he's one of the lead designers on Windows 10. 19 years old. Just do stuff. People like, what's important? It's what you do. Like, show me what you've done. Like, do stuff, build stuff, make mods, program things, do game jams. All of this stuff is out there and available. There's a different game jam for a different engine like every other week. And you can get noticed. You just gotta, it's out there. Do I have to do social media? No, but it helps. It helps a lot. A lot of the jobs I've got are through social media. A lot of the contacts I made were through Twitter. Babe, how many times am I like at a show and like, oh, you Dave Oshry? I follow you on Twitter. I'm like, cool. It helps. You don't have to do social media. Some people just don't want to don't be like me. I tweet like an idiot. Don't do that. But I mean, if you want to be social, it helps, right? Not everybody's social. You don't have to be a social butterfly. But if you do get active on social media, stay out of controversy, for the love of God. Like, if you want to have strong, controversial opinions on things, get into politics. Like, not video games, because you're gonna, you might take one side of it gets very cliquey. You might take one side of a group's thing. Cool, you just pissed off like a few thousand other people who are now never gonna hire you because they associate you with the other thing. Be Switzerland, neutral, successful, and attractive. Step 1, be attractive. Step 2, don't be unattractive. And don't tweet like me. I am an idiot. Do I have to do business? What the hell happened to this slide? This slide. No, go back. How do I fix? Can I fix this slide? So I'm just gonna fix this slide real quick. See if I can do it.
Enable editing. Enable editing. Can you text wrap the image?
Yeah, see, it was wrapped. I used the free version of, what the hell just happened?
I think if you right-click on the image, you'll be able to do text wrapping.
I think it's behind it. I think that's what's going on. No! Okay, I'm just going to move it so I can read it. Okay. Do you have to do business? No! But somebody has to. Marketing, PR, accounting, etc. are all part of games. Video games are a business? Holy shit, yeah. So I can't code, I can't animate, I can't draw, I can't do art. I don't do anything. I sign checks real good. But basically, I'm a marketing and I'm a salesman, right? I'm a marketing guy, PR guy. I got into production. Apparently, I'm a decent leader. I've helped publish games, and that's what I do. And the industry is always going to need guys like me. But guys like me can't do shit without people like you to actually do the real work. But video games are a business. And if you're going to be an independent developer or work in a small team, you need someone to do the business. Get a lawyer. Get an accountant. Do your bookkeeping. Hi, babe. I can't do math. I can't actually do very much of anything. So you're going to have to do business at some point, and you need good advice. I've seen so many horror stories about developers who did everything they were supposed to do. They got a game made, they got it out there, they started selling copies, and they didn't do their due diligence on their trademarks, on their legal stuff, on their accounting, and it came back and bit them in the ass. Do you remember? I think it was the Skullgirls guys, used a whole bunch of licensed music. And it didn't tell anybody, and they just put it in the game, and Warner Brothers sued them for $50 million and won. You have to be on top of that stuff. Business is important. If you can't do it, find somebody who will. And you read all these horror stories about the indie apocalypse and games that have only sold 100 copies on Steam. If you release a game on Steam and it only sells 100 copies, there is nobody to blame but yourself. You've got to do PR, you've got to do marketing. I mean, I know if I'm a programmer, that's not my job. Cool, then find somebody who will. It's worth it because you're going to be really sad when your game sells 100 copies and you're just going back to living with your parents. There is no indie apocalypse. There are only people who suck at the business of video games. Back to the slideshow, which should hopefully work now. From current slide, haha, business. Memes. Should I use memes in my PowerPoint presentation? Yes. The danker, the better. Should I go to events? Absolutely. It's a great way to meet people and companies. It's a great way to get your name out there and your work out there. And it's a great way to get drunk and do karaoke at 4 a.m. Yes, go to events. Go to PAX, specifically PAXs. E3, if you can swing it. BlizzCon is real close to here. I mean, you're already in California, right? So all the events are here. GDC is great. If you can get the GDC in San Francisco, great. And there's more opportunities than ever for students to go and not have to pay for it. That's another benefit you have of being enrolled here. Look into what your school or student programs will do to help you get to PAX, to help you get to GDC, to help you get to E3, because you will make connections there that money can't buy. That face-to-face time is so important with people that you want to get to know. I mean, if you meet the hiring person from a studio that you want to work for, say you want to work at Riot on League of Legends, right? And you end up at a bar at 2 a.m. with a bunch of people from Riot having an awesome time. Guess what? You've got a way better chance of them wanting to hire you now than just being some person who sent them a resume on the internet. FaceTime is the most important thing. So yes, go to events, get your face out there, get your name out there. Listen, I know you're not all social butterflies, but try a little bit. What the fuck is networking? I get asked this a lot. Dave, your network's so good. I'm like, I guess I drink. It's mostly drinking, but you don't have to. You don't want to be that guy. Especially if you get into the industry early and you start going to events and you end up at parties late at night. It's better to not be remembered at a party than to be remembered as the asshole who got too drunk and vomited on the CEO of Riot. Don't be that guy. But get all the business cards. Get them all. Collect them all. Don't be awkward. If you see someone you really want to meet, say you see John Romero or Warren Spector at a thing, don't walk up and be like, oh my god, I love Doom so much. Don't be that guy, but be like, oh my god, it's awesome to meet you, big fan. Do you have a card? Can I get your card? And they always have cards. Get a business card and follow up. The most important part, I have a stack of business cards on my deck that I've been meaning to follow up with people. I was just at DICE, I was just at PAX, and I still haven't emailed them back, and I am sucking at it right now. Because it doesn't matter if you get that FaceTime, it doesn't matter if you get that business card, holy shit, look at this business card I got, this fucking really important person. If you don't follow up and send that follow-up email within 1 to 2 weeks, you're never going to do it, and that relationship is dead. They might remember you, but there's no continuation. following up in sales, just as in networking, is the most important part. So when you meet people, when you go to events, when you get business cards, follow up, follow up, follow up. Write that down. Should I work for free? Okay, now this, I get this a lot. Should I work for free? You'll see a lot of people say like, no, absolutely not. Don't ever work for free. And I say, yes, no, maybe. I say work at the level that you can afford, that affords you the most experience. If you've got like rich parents or something and you can afford to like work with a studio until they can pay you later, do it. Like get that experience. It's all about your resume. But if you can't, then only go for a paid gig. Work at the level that you can afford to work at that gets you that experience. There is no substitute for experience. You need that on your resume because when people look at your resume, unless you're fresh out of college, they're going to be like, what did you work on last? What did you work on last? Where did you work last? You know, who did you work with? Who do they know? How do you know that person? So it's not a cut and dry answer. So I say if you can, I worked when I was a writer, when I wrote for Kotaku and PC Gamer and stuff, they never paid me. I did it for free. I just wanted the bylines. I just wanted to have my name on Kotaku. And you know, and after I did, everybody wanted me to write for them. They were like, whoa. It's just, you know, that's how it happens. And you know, and what? I could have said no to that because, you know, they would have, because I could have been like, no, I'm a popular freelancer. I want $2,000 for this weekend to write you 20 stories. But I was like, I don't care. I just want the byline. I just want thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to read my stuff. And they did. And it made me like so much more attractive to other outlets that were looking for freelance writers because they knew me from being on Kotaku. So if you can work for free, do it. If you can't, don't. But whatever you do, get that experience. There was something else I wanted to say. I forgot. Whatever. Frozen vegetables aren't that bad, right, babe? Oh, come on. This is a good one. It's a picture of me and my girlfriend. And I'll do this one too. And speaking of which, support system. You know, a lot of times, there we go. So like with working for free and stuff, your support system, right? Make time for family and friends. Make time for yourself. I've been doing this like nonstop for like 5-6 years, right? I went right from being a writer to being a marketing guy in PR to being a game producer to working at Gunner to being a VP to now running my own company. I have not stopped, and she can attest to this, for 5 years straight. And we've been successful. But like and only now am I taking time for myself. And I do not recommend like not ever like I haven't slept in like 3 years. Don't do that. Because make time for yourself. Some people are going to try to make you crunch like crazy. Sorry, bro. Well, we had to get the fucking game done. Don't give in to that. Be like, I need this amount of time for me, my family, my friends, or else you're going to lose your mind. And surround yourself with people that support you. Like, fuck the people who don't. Not literally. Don't fuck them to death. Sorry, not sorry. Surround yourself with people who support you, who think that what you're doing is rad. Like, I had this girlfriend when I used to live in New York who thought, when I was first getting started writing and stuff, she said, video games are stupid, this is stupid, get a real job. And, you know, now I have rooms in my house that I don't even use, so fuck her. Savage. But yeah, I mean, just surround yourself with people who support you, who understand what you're doing. Explain it to your parents. Your parents might think your major is stupid. They might think video games are dumb, video games are for kids. Tell them they're wrong. Show them all the articles. Show them the numbers. Show them that video games are as big as movies. Show them that like one day you could give like talks to like kids in college and be like fuck, and like you can get away with it. I'm allowed to say fuck, right? Shit, too late. And remember,
Too late.
And remember, if you fail, hang on. Shit, no, wrong slide. Oh, I'm going to make it right at 6 o'clock. I'm so good at this. From current slide. And remember, if you fail as an artist...
You can still always be a producer.
What? Oh, come on. What are you giving away the joke? If you fail as an artist, animator, programmer, let me finish. Director, designer, musician, writer, or tester, you can always be a producer. He killed the joke. It's just, I mean, I worked on that for like 20 minutes last night. And that's it. And if you're sick of our shit, you can always sue me. My email is suedaveoshry@gmail.com. That's actually my email address. I am at Dave Oshry on Twitter, and I actually got it done right by 6 o'clock. So, questions? Do we want to, I'll just do it in order. Do we want to turn the lights up now?
Yeah, sure.
How'd I do? Is that good?
Great.
Yes. And I know I feel like a lot of the stuff that I was saying is common sense, but did you guys feel like any of that? Oh, a little. Is that? Can we like less? Less? Can we? We're like we play video games, like just yeah, yeah. That's what we're used to. Whatever. I know, and I feel like a lot of what I said is common sense, but did you guys feel like that I was reaffirming it all? Anything that you kind of thought or didn't know, or like what you should do? I feel like you're here like, how do I get hired? How do I get a job? Please just tell me how to get hired. So I'm here to help you with that. All right, guy who ruined the joke, you're going last. This guy.
So, is that really your Gmail?
Yes.
And can I get your card later?
It's a funny thing. I was like, make really good business cards and make sure they stand out. I don't have any.
Okay.
I've been meaning to make new ones, but you could just email me. Just take a picture of that or write down sudevoshry@gmail.com. Like my inbox is always open. But yes, red shirt.
You mentioned the importance of follow-up email. What does that look like? Because I'm always like, oh, I should follow up.
Yes. All right. So what is a follow-up email like? So I'm very like this all the time. Like so I'll say the follow-up email to like a CEO, be like, "Sup, fucker? Remember that thing we did?" But I've got that rapport with people, right? If you meet someone and you get there, it'd be like, subject line should be like, met at blank, right? Like, so like, met at the Fig during E3. Or, I mean, well, fuck, that could be anybody. Something like specific, you know, like, hey, remember me with the red shirt and the bow in my hair? Like, who knows? Like, we talked, like, hey, met at E3, talked about blank. And then just be like, hey, it was really cool to meet you. I'd love to get, you know, people love it when you, like, fluff their egos. Like, I love when people, like, ask me questions, like, oh, Dave, you sold so many games on Steam, man. Tell me, like, what's your secret? Like, that makes me feel awesome. Like, I'm not, like, fucking rich or famous or stuff, but, like, it makes me feel cool. So, like, do that. Be like, you know, oh, I'd love to pick your brain about X, right? You know, like, I'd love to continue our conversation that we are having about, you know, X. Like, you know, you said this, I'd like to know this. You know, just keep it open. Don't write anybody a book. Like, if I get some emails sometimes, just like, hey, Dave, wall of text, and I'm just like, nope. I'll just file it. Like, I'll never get to it. And if they don't read it, don't be afraid to send a ping, like a follow-up, because like most people in the game industry, like producers and like, I'm at like 2,800 emails in my Gmail right now. I'm trying really hard to get that down, but like that's just where I'm at right now. And it's just every day, like another 50 to 300 will come in, and I'll just whittle them down. Most of them are Kickstarter updates. Jesus Christ, so many of those. But like, don't be afraid to send a follow-up of the follow-up. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, just want to see if you got this. And if like they don't ever reply, well, then maybe they're just never going to reply. Again, another one?
Yeah, follow-up question.
Oh, follow. See, you're getting it.
How do you get over like the oh god, they're so busy and I'm just some nerd that they met at E3? How do you get over that they don't want to talk to me?
You just get over it. I mean, if it depends on the conversation. Like, you might have thought, like, this happens a lot, and I always remember, like, that, you guys see Hustle and Flow? Really? Nobody's seen Hustle and Flow? How old am I? There's, like, this scene at the end, right? You know, where he's trying to give the famous rapper his mixtape. And it's like that, right? It's like, nobody wants your fucking mixtape, Daquan. And he thinks he's got this, like, he's built up this awesome relationship with the dude, and by the end of the night, he's like, oh, he's totally going to listen to it, I'm going to get a record deal. And then he goes in the bathroom and finds his mixtape in the toilet. Like, you never know. Like, so just, you know, most of the time you can feel it, but, you know, just follow up, and if they don't get back to you, whatever, maybe see them at the next event. Like, there's been times where, like, I've, you know, and don't push it, right? Like, there's been, like, plenty of, like, really crazy, cool, famous people like Hideo Kojima that I want to, like, introduce myself to, like, oh, Kojima-san. But, like, you know, you might not get that opportunity, and don't, like, push past these PR people to get that opportunity. You know, be cool about it. Follow up.
So sending a follow-up email is never going to hurt.
No, just don't send them like every other day. Like if you don't hear from like a couple of weeks or like a month. Wait, are you going? You got a question? Sit back. Nobody leaves. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to follow up. But just, you know, people just email. If you're concerned about following up with someone, email me first, and I'll tell you if that person's a dick or not. All right.
So, well, they said that after failing, you still get to be a producer. Means you can start your own franchise.
Well, Well, no. When I say like, it's like that's like a joke in the industry. Like producers are people who like failed at like real jobs. I mean, it's not. Producers are. It's like actually a real hard like. So my job is basically to get other people to do their jobs, which is a lot harder than it's like because like when I'm not around in Slack, people like just don't like. What was I supposed to do this week? Like, what do you mean nobody did anything? Like what? I went on vacation. Everybody all of a sudden stopped programming. Like what the fuck? It's actually so and finding that balance. Like every person is different. Like as a producer, if you become a producer, you're gonna have. It's like working with actors, except they program shit. You gotta figure out what's comfortable for them, where they're at. Oh, that was another thing in should I work for free? Work for free, yes. Work without a contract, no. Don't ever work without a fucking contract. I've heard horror stories about people who were promised X, Y, and Z, like you're gonna get paid this, and this when the game comes out. Game comes out, they don't get paid. Sorry, bro, we never signed a contract. I'm sorry, what? Oh, did I say that? Whoops. And like people will have no sympathy for you. I've worked with people who are just they're your best friend one day and they don't talk to you the next. Scorched earth. Work with you can work for free, but don't ever work without a contract. But yeah, like can anybody be a producer? No, it's like actually really hard. But I like that joke. It's a joke in the industry.
For those of us who want to be producers, I mean, interpersonal skills obviously huge deal, but like as far as like bodies of learning, that's something that I struggled with. Like
learning how to be a better producer.
Yeah, like are there like specific workflows that you've run into that were like that you use every time you go to a project?
There's now that communication tools were like Slack is amazing. Like you guys use Slack for stuff yet? Yeah, Slack rocks. We didn't have that. It was like back before that it was just like emails and Skype, and like before Skype it was like you had to like fax people. It was crazy. I'm not that old. To be a better producer, because I'm new at it too, right? I just know a lot because I've been through game dev cycles and I've worked with a lot of people. Go to talks, like talks like this. I mean, not like more important people than me, not like talks like, but like some of the best stuff I've learned. Like I go to DICE to like see guys like Ted Price from Insomniac talk about like how he got Sunset Overdrive made and how that was different than when he was making Resistance and the lessons he learned by like how to manage people. Like some of the best, and like I was watching his specific talk. If you go look up Ted Price, DICE 2014, it was a talk he gave called Trust and Balls, which is an awful name for a talk, Ballz. I was like, really? But it was basically showing how to work with people and not, the last thing you want to do as a producer is go over someone's shoulder if you don't see what they like and go, oh, okay, no, this is what you want to do. Because you might get the result you want, but you just demoralize the living shit out of that person and just, destroy their workflow, and now they're upset. And you might not see it on the outside, but on the inside, that person hates you, and their work is going to suffer because of it, and your company's going to suffer because of it. What you want to do is empower the people. Be like, hey man, I think we want to go in a different direction. Let's try some different stuff. Never be that guy who's like, no, you're wrong, I'm going to give it to somebody else. That's not helping anybody. And there's a million little tips and stuff you can learn about that, and the only way you're going to get that is by getting that experience at an entry level, and by going to see people like Ted Price, give you talks like that. Because I don't know what it's like to try to get a game like Sunset Overdrive made for Xbox One. 200 people worked on that game. It cost $40 million. So to get that insight from somebody like that, and all this stuff is like TED Talks, DICE Talks. They're all available online. They stream this stuff on Twitch. You don't have to go to DICE and pay thousands of dollars to get that. You just Twitch TV/DICE. Know when the events are, know when these talks are happening, know where these people are going to be speaking. Like, look at a company who, like, you love say you really love Riot and how they handle League and stuff, and, like, you want to be able to produce like that. Go look at them. They have videos online. They have tutorials. They have, their producers have given talks and stuff. Go see what they're all about. Just got to learn by doing. Like, I didn't know I could produce games until I started doing it. I didn't know I could market a game until I did it. I didn't know I could write decently about video games until I did it. I just did it, and people were like, well, how do I get started? I'm like, just fucking do it. Just do it, I should have put the Shia LaBeouf thing in there. Fuck, I knew I forgot something. Just get out there and start doing. Who's next? I'll keep forgetting.
I have a question about portfolios.
Yes.
When I think of a portfolio...
Let me guess, you're an artist.
Yeah, I'm picturing that it's something that's kind of visual. I'm a writer.
Gosh.
If I go to PAX or maybe, do I put in my stories in there? Like, what do I
As a writer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so they've got like a lot of great tools now. Like where you can just, your WordPress is easy. Like Medium is really great for having, like if like a physical portfolio.
Just and maybe.
I mean, you just want to have a link.
My tablet. Like,
Yeah, just show some stuff. I mean, if you've been published, get published places. Like absolutely, even on small sites or like even like community blogs will get published. If you're like a writer and you want to write short stories, just write them. Get them published anywhere that'll take them. And be like, hey, look, I've been published here, here, and here. Because most of the times, if it's not big sites, we don't know. Like, it could look like, wow, you were published on like this site. Whoa, they look like an important site. We don't know that they get like 5 hits a month. We don't know. We just want to see that you've been published places, that you take your work seriously, and get criticism, and that the feedback was constructive, and that you're better. And just if you have a WordPress blog or something, just like your top 5 favorite short stories, the stuff that you've written. If you want to write like stuff like for role-playing games, write quest dialogue, write multiple branching storylines for quests. Like I'm a character in Wasteland 2 that just came out. I wrote that character myself, and it was really fun because I got to write like the question and answer for each different response that they could ask my character, and I was like, this is a really fun, cool workflow. So this is how RPGs are made. Holy shit, this must take a really long time. Like the guy who wrote Skyrim must have like killed himself. But yeah, just like tablet's great. Bring that with you, but don't bring like a bunch of paper stapled together and be like, look at my resume. A lot of times, like at events and stuff, you're not going to be. It's just have a link to it on your business card and make it like on the back, or like just make sure it's actually. You know what? People are going to go to your Twitter, right? So if have your Twitter, make it really easy. Don't make it like some like uppercase, lowercase, like XX, blunt scope 420, like your old Call of Duty name. And they go to that and make sure the link is like the first thing they see in your Twitter. Hey, writer, check out my work here, and they can click that and make it so easy for them to get to. The less clicks, the better. Because I keep forgetting.
Thanks. What's the best way to go about getting a contract or making a contract to have with someone else?
LegalZoom, like all the sites, just Google like contract for X, because lawyers are expensive, like an actual lawyer. Any contract that's that you can get, just get them online. Like just any contract, even if the language isn't perfect, if somebody signs a thing and they said they're going to do something, it's legally binding. Like, hey, look, mister, like if ever you end up in front of a judge, which you won't, be like, look, they signed the thing, that's their name. Make sure you have emails proving everything. Emails, thank God, emails. Print them out if you're like worried about the apocalypse coming. My grandma prints out her email. So just to have proof of everything, and yes, get a contract for everything you do.
Okay. Well, my question is, I'm gonna graduate next semester.
Okay.
And I was thinking, what experience can I get after I would graduate?
So like right after you graduate, does your school have like placement type things or?
It's basically non-existent for stuff in the game industry. There's some stuff for the film and music industry, but
it's rough in games because like everybody wants a job in video games, and people are willing to work for like nothing. Like that's the hard part. Like people are like, if you don't want to work for free, there's some kid who will. What can you do right afterwards? Use the tools that you've learned. So what do you do? What's your specialty?
My specialty is it's storyboarding, but
Okay.
I can also do character design. I can also do concept art as well.
Okay. Use all those skills and start building your portfolio. So you've got some. So storyboarding is a really important thing that people forget, because people will be like, I've got this great idea for a game. The story's going to be like this. All right, lay it out. Lay it out. You can do character design, so you can actually design the entire flow of a game. That's great. Do that. Like the guy who did. And if I could go back to this one for a second. Yeah. The guy who did that redesign for Microsoft. Can I open this? No, go back. Because I think I can open this real quick, because this is worth seeing. Firefox. So glad I left the link in there. So this is the designer that got hired by Microsoft. So he did this in 3 days. He's like, I'm going to rebrand. This is my project. I'm going to rebrand Microsoft in 3 days. And this is his personal website. And he's like, and this is the most minimalist design you've ever seen. You see a lot of Windows 10 in these designs because now he works at Microsoft. So basically, a brand is a promise made, a promise kept. Microsoft, Apple, Google. He wanted to bring Microsoft into, he changed the logo. He said, the next Microsoft. He's like, this is what Windows look like now. But that's not what Windows actually look like. The old Microsoft, the new Microsoft. The problem is everything's round, and there was no cohesion to Microsoft's branding back in like 2012. It was kind of gross. And he came up with the slate. He said, this is what corporate Windows look like now. So this is what Windows should look like. And he designed everything. And this isn't this is him. This is not Microsoft, even though this looks like Microsoft's current branding, thanks to this guy. This was what this dude made by himself in 2012. So this is what he said he should look like. He's like, that's Surface, Office, Windows, one cohesive brand design. It's freaking beautiful. And he just did this as a project. And it got picked up everywhere. It was in Mashable, it was Engadget, Gizmodo, you name it. This guy's design, they're like, this guy can redesign Microsoft better than Microsoft can. And Microsoft took notice, and that's how he got hired. So what can you do after you graduate college? Anything. If you like storyboarding and character design, make comics. I mean, because that's basically what storyboarding is. If you can design awesome characters and put them in a world and tell a story, like, that's a useful skill, and it'll get noticed. Like, put it on Reddit. Might get some upvotes. Next thing you know, like, somebody wants to work with you. And there's a ton of small teams, and there's all kinds of message boards. There's a billion different subreddits you can go on. They're looking for people. Like, how do we find you? Twitter, yeah. Found Aaron on Twitter. We're like, hey, we're looking for a VR guy, and you followed like me and Aaron. And we're looking for someone to program specifically for VR stuff we're doing. You're like, I love VR. And I'm like, okay, what have you done? And you linked me to the VR electric chair. And I was like, fucking, you're hired. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And now he works with us, and he's like the main programmer on our big VR game. And we're working on, we just did a game jam game that we just finished called Battle Dads. And I would actually, does the game work? We submitted it at like 12 o'clock.
It's on Dropbox, so we can't get to it.
Okay, we'll check it out later. So do stuff, get in touch. Like he's not even done with school, and hopefully you're gonna stick around with me for a while because I need you. But yeah, just get doing. I mean, it's not necessarily like, oh man, I graduated college, I need a job. I mean, yes, it's nice to get a job, but in the meantime, just start doing stuff. Because people, even if you're like mid-process on something, if you're going through like an interview process, like a lot of these big companies like Riot. You think you have to go back like 7 or 8 times before they'll hire you at Riot? You have to sit before a committee? It's like scary. That place is like a cult. I wouldn't, like, Riot's super cool, but I wouldn't want to work there. Don't kill me. It's like lasers on me. It's like, what'd you say about League? But yeah, just get doing. And if you're in mid-process of something, be like, hey, this is by the way, here's my resume, but I've been working on this, while I was talking to you guys, because I'm always doing. Let people know that you want to work. On the right first. My right, your left.
So, I'm a writer and designer here at the content team. So, just for my portfolio work, like if I make some like designs or game design documents, stuff like that, or just some like you said, write some quest lines. Do I have to like protect those ideas online? Or do I have to,
Yes. Even just like simple copyright stuff, like at the bottom of your page, if it's bullshit, just be like copyright me, like LLC. Like nobody will know that it's not real, and just make sure that it's very much you, and you're going to have the originals and have it backed up. The metadata will always be in there in the web page to show like, hey, this was published before somebody else stole it. But yeah, protect your IPs at all costs. Somebody could always rip you off. Clones are a thing. Clones are a real big thing in like mobile. Like every other game is a clone of another game. Like, I mean, I want to make one. I want to make a clone of Clash of Clans with little mafia dudes and call it Clash of Mobs. They have like little hats and Tommy guns and stuff. It'd be awesome, right? But somebody needs to help me make that. Somebody will always steal your ideas. So protect them. I mean, there's only so much you can do because like there's parody and creative, commons and stuff like that. But I mean, protect your IP at all costs. Yes. But you, and then back to you again.
Yes. So. Do you ever think about change when you start a new project, and do you ever have to sort of redefine the pipeline for how stuff gets done? And secondly, do you ever run into like a pre-production problem?
Yeah, all the time. Yes is the answer to your questions. Yeah, it's like you'll redo and redo everything a million times. You'll think you're working on something, like we've tried working on some games and we're like, this is just not happening. We've switched engines back and forth a few times. It's on Unity, it's on Unreal, it's on Unity, it's on Unreal, fuck it, whatever works. It's basically, you'll know when it's vibing. Like this week when we were working on this game jam, we were all in on this idea and it was really fun. We were all working, like we were pushing commits to like GitHub like every 5 seconds. Like it was, we were moving and grooving. And you'll know when it feels good, and you'll know when it's dragging ass because nobody will be having fun. You'll be like, I don't want to work on this project anymore. So try to avoid that. I mean, it's a lot of times it's unavoidable, and that comes from the top. It comes from the guy who's going to be the producer or the leader saying like, listen guys, I can tell you're all not happy. Nobody's having fun. Let's do something else, or let's do a side thing. Like the game jam, like what we just did, totally re-energized us. Like we were cooking pretty good on the thing we were working on, but like this game jam's been like a ton of fun. And now we're gonna make that into a full game while we're working on the other stuff. So it's keep the creative. You got to keep the juices flowing, keep moving, keep working on stuff. If you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong. Because like we make video games. Like it's like we make video games. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. Like we're not accountants. Like well, somebody's an accountant. Sorry, man. But like we make video games. It should always be fun. Like yeah, it's work, and you'll be up late and be like, oh my god, I can't solve this problem, and the fucking code's not doing this, and what the hell? It just reset everything, and then this fucking thing crashed. I lost 5 hours of work. Fuck my life. It happens. But at the end of the day, it should always be fun.
I think we have time for like 3 more questions.
Sure. Who has anybody not asked one yet that wants to ask one? Cool. All right. You again.
I'm trying to get my...
Nobody leaves!
My characters and my stories copyrighted.
Okay.
However, I keep getting mixed signals that characters should either be copyrighted or trademarked, and I don't know which one it should be.
Both. Copyright, trademark, the NFL express consent needed to rebroadcast. I mean, both. I'm not a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer. There's like lawyers who give you advice for free on Reddit. There's this dude called the game lawyer who like does a AMA every month in our. If you guys aren't subscribed, you guys use Reddit, I imagine. Yeah. You're college kids, I'm sure, on fucking Reddit like all the time. We didn't have Reddit when I was in college. I had to use like Kazaa and Napster for like music. It was awful. I am old. I'm not that old. How old am I? I'm 31. And like subscribe to our game dev. It's really great for seeing how awful and horrible everybody else's life is, and also for advice like from attorneys and stuff. There are attorneys who'll give you free advice. Like I have a very expensive attorney, but he still gives me free advice. But so yeah, ask a lawyer. That's what they're there for, and they are happy to give you advice because someday down the road they know you're going to give them money.
Okay, so I'm sure it is, but is getting an internship a good step to getting?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. If you could get one. Internships are more competitive than jobs a lot of the time. Internships. I mean, paid internships. Holy shit. Yeah. If you guys can get one this summer, like absolutely look for companies because game companies love interns because it's free labor and it's free experience for you. I mean, that's why everybody loves internships, right? So yes, internships. If you can get them. Last question. Better make it a good one. If it's like a bad question, I'm going to be like real
how
bummed.
do you avoid either miscommunication or ambiguous communication in the workplace, and along with that, siloing of information? So
Siloing?
Siloing is like
Teach me something.
So siloing is, for instance, you have one dev team. Say we have like our content. Say it's content, and we'll say it's art. Or it's like they get this fantastic idea and they're like, oh, this would be an awesome monster. No, it's nothing against you, Katrina. This would be an awesome monster. Let's do it. And then they do it, and then they don't tell tech, so they.
Oh, you're talking about like feature creep type stuff happening?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Or like where.
Miscommunication.
Yeah.
Or like where two teams have kind of they've both come up with different solutions to the same problem.
Okay.
But those solutions are mutually exclusive.
Okay, so that sounds like the producer's somebody's got to solve that from the top. I mean, if the two teams aren't communicating, then it's the problem of the person who's not letting those teams interface properly. The person who presents the problem should be the person who finds the solution. Like, say I'm the producer and I'm like, we need to find a solution to X. I want this team and this team to come together and find a solution. I don't want to be like, I want these guys to figure out a solution, these guys to figure out a solution. Whoever's got the better one, you get a banana sticker at the end of the day. Don't do that. That's up to the leader to make sure that people are communicating and you're getting one cohesive answer, or else there's going to be infighting and people arguing, and it's just awful. If you've ever heard people like argue on a game dev conference call, it's like the saddest thing ever. It's like, what are you talking? We were going to make her hair. You said her hair was red last week. I didn't see that. I was sick. Nobody showed me. Nobody showed me. What do you mean it's committed already? Well, redo it. I don't care if you have to bake it again. Like, no, we said her hair was going to be red. Fuck you. I'll make the rules.
So, you say, okay, the producer has to find the solution, but, what do you already have in place to avoid that?
What do I have in place? Nothing. Don't base anything off of me.
Did you say Slack?
Oh yeah, Slack. I mean, so in Slack we've just got channels for everything, but everybody's in all the channels. Just have assigned roles. Don't let the music guys should not be telling the art guys what to do. And I've seen this happen on projects, and I've been guilty of this stuff too. So I was the marketing guy on Triad and stuff, and I'd come in and I'd be like, what? No, we can't. We have to change that. But because I was one of the investors and directors, they'd listen to me, and I wouldn't tell the game director that I did that, and a guy would make a change, and the game director would be like, well, who told you to do that? And they'd be like, Dave did. I'd be like, Dave, what the fuck? It's not your job. I'm the game director. I'd be like, sorry, I thought it was ugly, and I wanted them to fix it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be me. Don't be that guy. And I learned that a lot of what I learned from watching talks with Ted Price and stuff. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy who tries to sneak changes in. A lot of you people, I know you're that person who wants just get it done. They won't care. Nobody will notice. No, just change the sound. They won't even notice. They're gonna notice. The sound guy's gonna notice if you make the pistol sound differently, just because you and another member on the team think it's gonna sound differently. Don't ninja fix anything. Don't bring it up. Bring it up in a meeting. I know, you want to be sneaky, but and it might not go your way. You might think you've got the greatest way to change the game and make it better, and you could get voted down, and the game might come out, and people might knock that specific thing in a review, the same as you go, I fucking told you so. You know what? Not your job. Not your job, and that's just how it is. It's better to, you're gonna die on your sword sometimes. It just happens. Don't be the guy who's getting in everybody else's way, because you know what? You might have been right, but everybody thinks you're a dick now. Don't be a dick. That is my advice in life. Work hard and don't be a dick. Thank you.